Taurus, there's a man in your life you need to stop trusting right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. As you read these words, he's plotting something that will shake every security you've built around him. And the disturbing thing is, you feel it. Deep inside you, there's a little voice whispering that something isn't right. But you've silenced that voice because you prefer to believe the safe version of reality he's been selling you. This man, whether your father, brother, partner, close friend, or trusted colleague, knows your vulnerabilities exactly. He's mapped out every spot where you're most sensitive, where you most need stability, where you most fear betrayal. And now he's going to use this intimate knowledge against you in ways you never imagined. The surprise he's preparing isn't the kind that brings joy. It's the kind that shatters foundations. You've always prided yourself on being a good judge of character, on being able to sense people's intentions, on building solid relationships based on mutual trust. But this man managed to bypass all your natural defenses. He learned the language of your Taurus soul and used that fluency to create a sense of security that had never been real. While you relaxed in his presence, feeling like you finally had someone you could trust completely, he was watching, learning, planning. The betrayal that's coming won't just be about what he did or is doing. It'll be about discovering that the person you've known for so long never really existed. That every moment of intimacy, every deep conversation, every situation where you opened up completely was an opportunity for him to gather information about you. Information that he'll now use in a way that will leave you questioning your own ability to discern who deserves your trust. Over the past few days, you've probably noticed small changes in his behavior. Moments where he seemed distant even when he was present. Conversations where you felt he was hiding something important. Situations where your intuition screamed that something was wrong, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. You even wondered if you were being paranoid, if you were creating problems where none existed, but you weren't making anything up. Your Taurus intuition, which is one of the most accurate in the zodiac when it comes to detecting threats to your safety, was working perfectly. The problem is, this man knows you well enough to know how to make you doubt your own perception. He knows exactly how to make you feel like you're to blame for suspecting him, like you're being unfair for questioning his intentions. The surprise he's preparing will hit you at your most vulnerable point, your need for stability and predictability. This man knows that you build your life around people and situations you can trust, that you invest deeply in relationships you consider secure. And he's used this characteristic of yours to position himself as one of the cornerstones of your emotional stability. Now he's going to remove that rock in a way that will make everything else crumble. What will hurt you most isn't just discovering what he did, it's realizing how long he planned this. How every gesture of affection, every moment of support, every situation where he showed trust may have been calculated to keep you exactly where he needed you to be. It's discovering that while you were building a relationship based on genuine affection, he was building a strategy based on sophisticated manipulation. Taurus, in the coming days, you'll start receiving clearer clues about what this man is up to. They won't be dramatic revelations or obvious discoveries. There'll be fragments of truth that fit together to form a picture that will shock you. A conversation you'll overhear, a document you'll see by accident, a third person who'll comment something that doesn't make sense with what you know about him. Each new piece of information will be like a puzzle piece falling into place. And when you see the bigger picture, you'll understand not only what he's doing, but why he chose to do this specifically with you. You'll realize it wasn't coincidence or chance. It was a deliberate choice based on a detailed analysis of who you are and what you can offer to his plans. The revelation will be accompanied by a physical feeling of disgust. Not just disgust at him, but disgust at yourself for allowing this to happen, for ignoring signs that now, in retrospect, will seem so obvious you'll wonder how you ever missed them, for giving your trust to someone who saw it only as a resource to be exploited. This man close to you isn't who you think he is. Beneath the carefully constructed mask lies someone who sees relationships as transactions, who sees other people as means to specific ends, who can feign affection, loyalty, and genuine concern when it serves his purposes. And he's become especially skilled at simulating exactly the kind of behavior that makes you feel safe and valued. For Taurus women born between April 20th and April 30th, this man is likely connected to your financial or professional life in some way. The surprise will involve discovering that he's been using his position of trust for his own benefit in ways you never suspected. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the betrayal will be more emotional. You'll discover that feelings you believed were mutual were never real on his part. For those born between May 11th and 20th, the revelation will involve discovering that this man has a parallel life you had no idea about, a reality completely different from the one he presents to you. Regardless of the specifics, the impact will be devastating because it will directly attack your ability to trust. As a Taurus, you don't give your trust easily. You observe, analyze, and test the person over time before completely relaxing in their presence. But once you trust completely, and this man exploited exactly that characteristic of yours. Now, as you absorb these words, stop for a moment and think, is there anyone specific who came to mind as I spoke? Someone who, even reading about betrayal and manipulation, you feel the need to defend? Someone about whom a small voice inside whispers, could it be him? But you immediately push the thought away because it's too disturbing to consider. If you recognized someone, if you felt a tightness in your chest at the thought that a specific person might be deceiving you, I need you to do something right now. Stop reading for a moment and write exactly this in the comments. I feel like someone close to me isn't being completely honest with me, and this makes me fear that I'm being naive. Don't mention names, don't give details. Just copy and paste this sentence. Because here's the truth, you're not alone. Hundreds of other Taurus women are living the exact same silent nightmare. They're feeling the same intuition screaming that something is wrong, but they're silencing that voice because it's easier to believe the comfortable lie than to face the uncomfortable truth. When you share your experience, even anonymously, you give other women permission to recognize that they're not imagining things. Your participation here isn't just about you. It's about breaking the silence that allows men like this to continue operating without consequences. It's about creating a support network where women can validate each other's intuitions instead of doubting themselves. It's about remembering that your perception is worth more than the need to maintain false harmonies. So please, if anything resonated with you so far, copy and paste this sentence in the comments, because when you do, you're not just asking for help for yourself. You're reaching out to everyone else who's going through the same silent process of discovering they've been betrayed by someone they completely trusted. Taurus, the surprise this man is preparing isn't just about what he'll do. It's about the moment when you'll discover who he really is beneath all the pretense, and that moment is closer than you think. In the coming weeks, the mask will begin to slip in ways that will be impossible to ignore. You'll notice inconsistencies in the stories he tells, contradictions between what he says and what he does, moments where he forgets to maintain the persona he created for you and lets his true personality shine through for a few seconds. These moments will be like rays of light piercing a dark curtain, illuminating realities you never imagined existed. The most disturbing thing will be realizing how he managed to maintain this charade for so long, how he studied you so deeply that he knew exactly which buttons to push to keep you satisfied and confident, how he anticipated your reactions and prepared responses that always reassured you, how he turned your own kindness and capacity for love into tools for his own manipulation. You'll remember specific conversations where, now that the truth is revealed, you'll be able to see he was testing you. Situations where he put you in vulnerable positions to see how far he could push the boundaries without you reacting. Moments where he planted seeds of doubt about your own perception, so you'd always question yourself before questioning him. The revelation will be like waking up from a very long dream, or rather from a nightmare you didn't know you were living because all the scary parts were happening while you were asleep. Suddenly, you'll see with complete clarity how you were manipulated, how your good faith was exploited, how your natural need for stability was used to create a false sense of security. And with that clarity will come an anger you may never have felt before. Not just anger at him, but anger at yourself for allowing this to happen, for ignoring signs that now seem glaring, for choosing to believe the comfortable version of reality instead of investigating when your intuition whispered something was wrong. But here's what I need you to understand. This anger, however intense, is a sign that you're waking up. It's a sign that your soul is rejecting manipulation and demanding truth. It's a healthy sign that you're not willing to accept any more lies, even when they're packaged nicely and comfortably. Taurus, there's a reason this man specifically targeted you. It wasn't because you're weak or naive. It was because you possess qualities he wanted to exploit. Your loyalty, your capacity to love deeply, your tendency to invest fully in relationships you consider important, your ability to create stability and comfort for the people you love. These are all beautiful and valuable qualities. The problem isn't that you have these characteristics. The problem is that he used them against you, that he pretended to value the very things that make you special to gain access to your inner world, and then exploit that access for his own benefit. The upcoming surprise will show you the lengths he went to keep you under control. It will reveal the level of planning and manipulation required to create the illusion that you had a relationship based on mutual respect and affection. It will expose how he managed to make you feel special and valued when in reality you were just a pawn in a much larger game he was playing. When everything is revealed, you'll go through a period where you question your ability to discern who deserves your trust. You'll feel lost, vulnerable, as if the ground has dropped out from under you. You'll wonder how many other people in your life might be wearing similar masks. You'll feel like you can't trust your own perception of relationships. This period of confusion and doubt is normal and necessary. It's your mind reorganizing everything you thought you knew about this person and about relationships in general. It's a painful process, but it will result in a much wiser and more protected version of yourself. A version that maintains the capacity to love and trust, but adds layers of insight that will protect you in the future. What this man didn't calculate is that cheating on you will awaken a force within you he's never seen before. The same force that makes Taurus one of the most determined and persistent signs of the zodiac. Once you realize you've been manipulated, you won't simply accept it and move on. You'll want to understand exactly what happened, how it happened, and why. This search for understanding will lead you to discover not only the truth about him, but also important truths about yourself. You'll discover that your intuition is much more accurate than you imagine, that the moments of discomfort you felt weren't paranoia, they were perfectly functioning alarms, that your capacity for love isn't a weakness, even when it's exploited by people who don't deserve it. The full revelation about this man will happen gradually but inexorably, like an avalanche that starts with a small pebble and grows until it becomes an unstoppable force. First, small discoveries that contradict things you thought you knew about him. Then, larger revelations that make you question the fundamental nature of your relationship. And finally, the full realization that the person you know as him never really existed, that he was a carefully crafted creation, designed specifically to exploit your vulnerabilities and needs. That while you were being authentic and vulnerable, he was playing a role calculated to maximize his control over you. When this understanding fully sets in, you'll feel a complex mix of emotions. Relief at finally understanding why something always felt slightly off. Sadness at the loss of what you thought you had. Anger at the violation of your trust. And surprisingly, Gratitude for having discovered the truth before sinking even deeper into the lie. Taurus, in the coming days, trust your perceptions, even when they contradict what you'd like to believe about this man. When your intuition whispers that something isn't right, listen. When you sense a dissonance between what he says and what you feel, investigate. When something in his behavior doesn't make sense with the person you know, question it. Your natural tendency will be to rationalize these inconsistencies to maintain harmony. You'll want to find explanations that preserve the image you have of him and your relationship. But this time, resist that tendency. Allow the inconsistencies to accumulate until they form a pattern you can no longer ignore. The surprise he's preparing will serve as the final catalyst for this revelation. It will be the moment when all the pieces fall into place and you see the full picture for the first time. And when that happens, you'll understand that you weren't a passive victim of random circumstances. You were the specific target of a deliberate campaign of manipulation. But you'll also understand that surviving this discovery and emerging stronger and wiser is a demonstration of your true power, that your ability to recover from betrayal, to learn from painful experiences, to maintain your humanity even after being treated inhumanely, these are qualities no one can take away from you. The revelation about this man will mark the end of a phase in your life where you allowed others to define your reality, where you doubted your own perception when it conflicted with what others wanted you to believe, where you prioritized maintaining relationships over maintaining your own truth and well-being. This phase is coming to an end, and what comes next will be a version of you that retains all the capacity for love and nurturing that has always characterized your Taurus personality, but adds layers of wisdom, discernment, and self-protection that will ensure you're never exploited like this again. The surprise this man is preparing isn't just about him revealing who he really is. It's about you discovering who you can become when you stop diminishing your own perception to accommodate other people's lies. It's about you discovering the power you have when you decide that your inner peace is worth more than any relationship based on falsehoods. If you've come this far and recognized the signs, if you've felt that familiar tightness in your chest that comes when you know something isn't right, don't ignore it. Your intuition is trying to protect you. Your soul is trying to warn you. Your inner wisdom is trying to prepare you for what's coming. Write in the comments if you need strength to trust your own perception. Use these exact words. I choose to trust my intuition, even when it scares me. Ubit, because when you declare this publicly, you're making a commitment to yourself to honor your inner truth, no matter how uncomfortable that truth may be. Subscribe to the channel, because what you discover about this man will completely transform the way you navigate relationships. You'll need guidance on how to process betrayal, how to rebuild your capacity to trust, how to establish new patterns for allowing people into your life. Turn on notifications so you don't miss out on guidance that can support you through this transformation. Remember, the surprise that's coming isn't a punishment, it's a liberation, an opportunity to break free from a relationship that was draining your energy and limiting your potential, a chance to discover that you're much stronger and more perceptive than you imagine, and a gateway to future relationships based on truth, respect, and genuine reciprocity. Don't trust him. Trust yourself. Your intuition is right. Your perception is valid, and you deserve relationships where you never have to doubt whether you're being loved or exploited. The truth is coming, and when it does, you'll be ready to receive it and use this revelation as a springboard to a much more authentic and protected life.